Welcome to the HR Empowerment Podcast, where we will uncover strategies and new insights from HR professionals who discuss up-to-date regulations, best practices, and the most pressing topics like diversity and equity, leadership, dealing with difficult situations, and much more that affect your bottom line and business. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Wendy Sellers, the HR lady, here today with our special guest, Barry Ackerman. What's up, Barry?
Hey Wendy, how you doing?
You know what? I'm living the dream over here in Florida. Sorry, I know it's winter time and it's starting to get cold up there.
It's a little gross here today, yeah.
Well, just think happy thoughts.
That's right.
We're talking about, onboarding and how to successfully onboard new employees and making sure it's a very well planned out experience. What I want to talk about right now for the next few minutes is who is responsible for a really great new hire onboarding program? Is it HR? Is it leadership? Is it management? Who is it? What are your thoughts, Barry?
So some people like to say that basically the answer to any question is who is the responsibility of blank? The answer is always HR. That's, we ran out of paper towels. It's HR. I've seen companies like that. I don't think onboarding lands squarely on the shoulders of HR. I think HR is there, as in many other areas that HR is involved with. HR is there to support and guide.
Right.
HR is, I can't, you have a new accountant coming in. Don't ask HR to get them up to speed. We're not accounting experts. We'll take care of some of the higher level stuff, but I think it's more advantageous for just use that example, the accounting manager to sit with someone in HR and come up with a plan, come up with a system, whether that's setting goals, the basic stuff as to the paperwork. HR will take care of that piece of it, but making sure that there's a buddy or a mentor set up with them, with the new hire, or the kind of more technical stuff that HR can just kind of help the accounting manager, in our example, set up a plan that makes sense. So I don't think it's fair to say that it's all the accounting manager's responsibility, because that person may not have the knowledge to create an onboarding plan, and that's okay. They can turn to HR for that help, but I don't think it's fair to turn to HR and say, make an onboarding plan for our new accountant, because that's also not fair. So I think they can work together very nicely to be able to create a strong plan, but there has to be strong input from both sides.
I 100% agree. I shared this meme a long time ago. I have to see if I could find it for the purpose of sharing this podcast. But I see a bowling alley, right? And then, when you get those child-proof lanes, they come up, the bumpers.
Yeah.
I feel like that's us. We're HR, right? And this is the business, and it's running along, and we're like the bumpers going, oh, nope, stay over here, stay over here. We're not going to do it for you, but here's some bumpers.
I love that. That's great.
I also feel like sometimes we're going we're knocking things down like bowling pins, and it's not always in a good way, sometimes we're the ones that are getting knocked down, the human resources people, but it really is. I'm right there with you, Barry. I think it's everybody's responsibility to be onboarding employees. And I mean, everybody from the receptionist to the CEO. HR is usually the one that, has some kind of template and says, okay, managers, I'm going to help you create this plan and, put it together. And maybe my HR department is the one that's going to be blocking off everybody's calendars if you don't have a fancy like HRIS system or something like that, which many of the small businesses that are listening today do not. I just go to Excel, or Google Sheets. Like you don't have to get crazy. But I do find that HR is usually the one that's being the juggler as well, and just say, we're going to juggle this and ensure it happens. But managers, you are ultimately responsible for proper onboarding, orientation, training, feedback, so on and so forth, because you're the ones that hire these people, and you're the ones that are going to, do the thumbs up, we're keeping them, or the thumbs down, we got issues, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you and I are definitely on the right page about that. A great onboarding program has to be everyone's responsibility. Caveat, that means you have to train everybody. Right. So anybody who, especially in the interviewing phase, which I know we're not really talking about today, but they need to be trained on what they can and cannot say, and what they can and cannot, do or make decisions based on. But even down to the onboarding, there's still a lot of legalities that we need to teach our receptionists, our managers, our coworkers who don't normally get involved with legal things. We still need to teach them like what they can and can't say to somebody. For example, if they have a new hire that comes in and they have an obvious physical impairment, there needs to be some kind of conversation, and it should be pre just hiring that one specific person, but there should be a conversation and a training to let managers, number one, managers, but then also everyday employees know what's okay to ask and what's not okay to ask, and that it's going to be different for every employee. Have you ever had any issues like that where, somebody thought they were being friendly and asked a wrong question, and now it might be an ADA or some other violation concern?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've seen where there are cultural sensitivities that were not, I don't want to say not respected, but I think they were just ignorant. The employee was ignorant to certain cultural sensitivities and just started a conversation or asked a question that they thought was innocent, and it wasn't. And it can be really uncomfortable. So, and I don't really blame the employee, because, like I said, it was just ignorance. They were trying to be friendly, trying to be nice, welcome them in, welcome them in. Let me get to know you, and you'll get to know me, and because we're going to be working together. And all of a sudden, they ask a question or they go down a topic that's just not the employee's not comfortable with. Whether it's an official legal issue or not, it doesn't set the right tone, and it makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I think I want to tell, all of our listeners today, like, don't walk away from here freaking out saying, oh my God, I got to train every employee and everything legal. Like, what I would really say is we need to train our employees of all levels just on the basics of respect. Some of that includes laws such as discrimination, harassment laws, but it's really the basis of the respect that everybody brings their own self to work. So some people bring all their self to work, right? much to our dismay. And then other people say, no, like, this is my work life, this is my personal life. And we need to just teach everybody not to get offended that our coworkers don't want us involved in our personal life, especially when, for many people, work is their life, right? And work is their personal life as well. And so there's always that small like boundary there of going into discrimination. The one thing that I wanted to talk about real quickly, because we kind of we're mentioning, the timelines about, employee orientation, which is really just paperwork, right? Orientation is usually just the paperwork. Here's the restroom, here's the coffee, blah, blah, blah. Here's the codes, the things like how do you get in and out of work? But for some of you, your onboarding might last years, depending on the person. For many of you, the onboarding, it may just be that they're transferring from one department to another. They still need onboarding though, right?
Right.
I've seen that so much. Oh, they're fine. They've been here for a while. Oh, they're all good. Have them fill out this form and then we're good to go. And then the person that they just, begged to transfer to another department, even if it's not a management position, is like, I'm out. I have no clue. I don't feel valued here. I wasn't given proper training. You expect wonders from me because I've worked here for a while. And folks, please, that are listening today, make sure that you don't just make assumptions. You know what assumptions stand for. Don't make assumptions. Yeah, don't make assumptions because your employees have been there for a long time, because all of us, we don't know what we don't know until we know it. And then we go back and go, oh, I didn't know that. With that said, we will be right back. We want to talk a little bit more about onboarding and worse things that can possibly happen.
Thank you for joining the HR Empowerment Podcast, brought to you by Aurora Training Advantage. We hope you've gained new insight and strategies to navigate the HR profession. We look forward to you joining us again on the HR Empowerment Podcast.